The Russia story is a total fabrication. The Russia story is a total fabrication.
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
Director Comey was very unpopular with most people, but when I made that decision, I actually thought that it would be a bipartisan decision, because you look at all of the people on the Democratic side, not only the Republican side, that was saying such terrible things about Director Comey.
As far as my son is concerned, my son is a wonderful young man. He took a meeting with a Russian lawyer, not a government lawyer, but a Russian lawyer.
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
I do think this. I think from a practical standpoint, most people would have taken that meeting.
Where does this stop? Where does this stop?
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
Where does this stop? Where does this stop?
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
Where does this stop? Where does this stop?
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
Where does this stop? Where does this stop?
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
What the prosecutors should be looking at are Hillary Clinton's 33,000 deleted emails. What the prosecutors should be looking at are Hillary Clinton's 33,000 deleted emails.
Where does this stop? Where does this stop?
That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
I do think this. I think from a practical standpoint,
that's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think. That's a question that'll be answered by the investigation, I think.
Where does this stop? Where does this stop? Where does this stop?